Yeah, exactly. Got it. Great. Thank you.
I'm gonna take this and run yourself.
Maybe on this road. I can't see it. I forgot my glasses, so I can't see anything anyways.
What are you voting on? Next year. Oh. Yeah, there's a little spot for all. Then one extra doesn't have, and we'll put it in this, you know,
This last week, did you get involved in the
no.
I don't know what the camera's doing, but it's
like tracking me, zooming, as you walk out in.
Obviously.
Hey.
Literally
Literally the guy. I'm good.
Oh, great. Well, fortuitous. I
Right.
just got back from Boise. I was in Boise last week. Yeah. I know. That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah.
I did look that up. I got it. So it's fine. Yeah, then I can see. Yeah. Send them to.
That's what I use. I think it's very interesting.
I love tennis. I get playing a tent today. I'm with Ross. Yeah. Well, that's cool. They won't rip it up and it'll look fast. Yeah.
Go here. Here, that's awesome.
Wow.
Yep, that's me.
You know, what can you do without?
Here's feeling it. Yeah.
Form on opioids. Well,
Yeah, you go to a reservation or something. Right.
yeah.
I always wait till like, you know how that is, it's like, I just changed it not too long ago.
I mean, it's. And the teachers like them, it's good. Have that. Tomorrow, right? There we go. You're like the first thing to do in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to touch and mess things up and then be accused of things.
Here, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Then you can pull it. That we had to pull there.
Yeah, we'll just open it on the desktop here and call it.
Exit that out so you don't have it on there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I heard Gary.
he's his sound's not turned on, I don't think.
Can you hear me?
Everything's plugged in, so.
Where's the audio?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because we're going, no, audio's fine, but we need this.
We
Oh, no, we're on,
computers run.
what's that called? It's not FSMPJ, is it?
Yeah, so
Epson's up there.
that's the,
Speak over it all. Linear, that's not even showing up. Oh, we're looking.
this is us, for us talking too.
Gary, are you able to try talking so we can hear you?
Can you hear me?
Is Gary volume down or?
At least so.
I don't know what's going on.
Rather real to see if that's.
It's computer based. Hello?
I'm gonna leave and come back.
Nope.
There you go, we got you.
Okay,
But it's off there.
Gary,
No, it's not.
yeah,
you have an inspirational comment today?
I do.
Okay, good, great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's work on the Epson.
Can't we go overhead?
Well, that's what it should be working.
But you can hear me?
Yeah.
Just off the computer.
Okay, now talk again.
Okay, I'm talking.
It's not, no, it is. This is
The volume down.
Okay, Gary, say something.
Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sure.
Sound check.
Sound check.
There,
Check sound check.
more volume. Sound check.
Sound check.
Okay.
Is that good?
That's good.
Okay, good. Awesome, good. Come in and out once, so.
There you go.
Check on this.
I think it's fine.
You're big.
I got a bit at the house.
So, it's definitely. There is one starting. Oh. Oh, it's only a punch him in the face.
Wow.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's.
So do you. Maybe that would be your. That's what.
It's.
Some people.
your mid presentation. What's that? You know, like.
So.
Yeah. Yes. And so we come on Tuesday and I leave.
Okay, I'd like to start the meeting today.
Oh, that's right. I see. Yeah, just pull that. Let's the flag. Where's the flag?
Was there earlier? Now it's.
It's right here.
Pictures blocked.
Okay. We're gonna say it anyway. There it is, right there. Oh.
Right there.
Okay, I pledge allegiance to
The flag of the United States of America.
And. This book, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First.
The truth.
Third. Fourth. All concerned. Fifth. Sixth.
Done.
And Gary has the 7-second delay, but.
You bet.
Lips are moving and then the words come out later. So, thank you. Doctor.
If I can't handle that, then I'm in big trouble.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Please say.
Okay, so Gary, do we have an inspiration comment?
I do. Can you hear me?
Yeah, beautifully.
You're braver than you believe, stronger than you seem, smarter than you think. Keep your face to the sunshine and you cannot see a shadow. And every day there are 1,440 minutes. That means we have 1,440 daily opportunities to make a positive impact.
Nice, awesome. Thank you for that. And we do have a visitor. He's visited here before, Mr. Lowe, right?
How?
Oh, yeah, okay. Is it the same amount of letters, I think. Good, and he's thinking about joining, so that'd be awesome.
Say your name right.
And birthdays, yeah, that's another guy. Yeah, sorry about that. So I believe, Mr. Iverson, is that your birthday this week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was our birthday.
Yeah, and your wife's also Eve. Yeah, well, congratulations. That's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. And then we have anniversaries. We have Connor and Heather Davis, who has been married for a number of years, doesn't say, but it's awesome for them. And then, Dawn did send out a ballot, so if you did not get one, please see Dawn and, vote. And then, you can put it back there in the can back there. Announcements, we have, district conference coming up again, May 5th and 7th. And, again, Melbourne, Australia is coming up as well. And don't forget to promote our application for funding, so we can get more money out into the community for those that need it. And with that, we'll move to the treasurer's report.
Thank our state for our main account, so we're in pretty good there actually.
What?
A little bit, a lot, a little bit. Also, I don't know if anybody saw, but the club runner training, and they're offering that.
Yep.
And if anybody's interested in that, I'm probably gonna try and do some of that.
That'd be great. Maybe you could send out a message for all.
Yeah, I don't know, I can understand it to me, I assumed other people got
Yeah.
to do that, but-
They send it out as you get to the new rotary year. They're
Yeah.
getting ready to set up all the training.
right.
That'd be great for everybody to kind of look at it. I don't know, just say how long it is.
It's just open. It's just.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of different courses. Looks like to me, like
18 minutes.
you can do an hour course, and there's different courses depending on what you want. to do
Okay.
And what you want to learn.
Cool. Okay. Thanks. And how are the dues coming?
Still have about 13 people, it's the last few, I guess they're gonna have to. Do the strong arm thing.
Okay,
I'll have to figure out who it is.
okay, okay, great. And with that, we have Dawn. You have something?
What's the matter? You're gonna skip over me?
Yeah, I am.
He's probably got his.
Yes, Gary, secretary's report.
Well, just for your information, if you do any of that training, please note it to me because that's a makeup.
Okay,
Now, Rand, I know that, I think I saw you in the audience. We're still working with the data center at Rotary International. Your club, your former club still has not done anything according to RI this morning. I sent you the note. So we'll wait and see how this goes.
Thanks, Gary.
That's it.
okay, and the board meeting's next Tuesday, right?
Yep, but I won't be there.
No, I know that. Okay. Okay, now Dawn.
All right, well, Gary, while we've got you, I have passed out ballots, I think, to everybody for next year's board. And can I render a ballot according to your email instructions?
Yes,
All right. And if anybody, I think I got everybody, but if anybody hasn't gotten a ballot, please let me know, and they go in the bin and get them in there in the next few minutes, and then you count them all up and then let everybody know where we stand. Yeah, we definitely have a quorum, which is good news.
That's good news, yeah. Figured as much, but
How many times can we vote?
more balance than the five than there is people.
and Fox News and CNN will do the recount.
Right.
Okay, so club services, Ron.
We'll get at our second fireside at the brewery. We'll have about 8 people with cake and Dawn, had some good beer and.
But that's a great birthday too.
Yeah.
Good cake. It was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I got there extra early, left and came back.
Yeah. Yeah, Chris practiced first.
Right. Practicing. Community services, Brian.
Just postponing the torch down still until we get a couple closer, warmer, sunnier, so I'll let everybody know.
Okay,
We'll have people.
Yeah, it's gonna, yeah, it'll be probably next month, I think.
I went through the same thing last time. Just, you want to be optimistic, but it's, tough time to really do that.
okay, moving on. Let's see, Linda. Anything for RI?
Nothing new to report. All is good.
Okay. Fantastic. Dial membership.
Membership has been very well, actually. Like we keep getting new members. I want to say it's because of me, but I don't think that's really. No, we're doing good. We're trying to Yeah, hopefully have a presentation for everyone once we get closer to the end of the Rotary here next year, so we can do a presentation on what everyone put in the survey. And we can get that as next year's goals and activities.
Okay, thanks. And I have youth services. We're getting ready to ramp up with Kristen Odegaard's daughter and get her over to Norway. And then someone coming in, so we'll be working on that with the school district and other things, and vetting the families will be coming up, so that's coming up. And then, so my phone went out of order today, I don't know why, but I couldn't make a phone call, so I used my landline, that was interesting. I was trying to call Lance this morning, because he sent me a text, and he couldn't text back. Because it just kept saying that it was roll and say, sorry, I can't do it. I tried to text my wife and people I knew. And who else would I text, right? And it just wouldn't work. So anyhow, he wants to report that there's now 16 applicants. So that's pretty cool, right? And maybe some more. I don't remember quite when the cutoff is. But that's good news, and he's looking for more volunteers to help, rank everybody. So please reach out to Lance if you want to help, score all that. Right?
Yes, you.
Okay. There we go. Anyhow, that's pretty exciting. I really like that. So, let's see here. We have Chris Martin, IT.
I haven't been here for a few weeks, so I've got nothing to report
Okay.
unless there's something broken.
You'd be up here if it was. Okay, good. And then I don't see Kendra on there. And Gary, anything for communications?
No,
Okay, thanks. So now we have the sergeant of arms and the raffle. Here we go.
All right. Bob, since you are our guest today, reach in and pull one ticket. Last three numbers.
927.
927.
927.
Oh, it's always you. Yeah. And your boss sees a Tesla. Yeah. All right. Okay, now let's do this right. Yeah. Okay. The Tesla bonus for you? Oh, darn. Oh, well, it is. All right.
Yeah, that's what I've got. 5 years of life.
All right, if anybody thought in their head that when I walked back there and got this, that, oh crud, this is gonna be dangerous. You're $1. $100.
It's classy, man.
Okay. That is like Gary. Thank you. Gary.
yes,
I have to find you.
for what?
Well, I think it's illegal in Rotary, deep in the Rotary manual, it says it's illegal for anyone to imitate the Wizard of Oz.
Really?
Yeah, and the only way that you can get out of this is to say in your Wizard of Oz voice that pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
All right. Yeah, and the reading is, you have to read. You're asking to read. Sometimes there's a reason, sometimes not. This time, there is a reason.
What's the reason, good sir?
Well, one, you don't have any money. Two, there's a long standing. I can find my employees today. So anyway, there's a long standing tradition in Lake Stevens Rotary Club that if you get your name in the paper or if you get anything written about you in the paper, that it's a fine, and usually it's a pretty hefty fine, but in this case, in this particular instance, okay, there was an article in the Everett Herald yesterday about the Lake Stevens High School track team, and if there's any doubt about what he does, okay, he's got Lake Stevens track all over him. All right, so the article was about 344 student athletes turning out to track this year.
Great.
Most I've ever heard of any school anywhere. And of course, we're defending state champions. We're favored to win this year. Lots of expectations. Don't feel the pressure. But anyway, talk about the Lake Stevens High School track team. And I think indirectly, one of the coaches of that track team who is in Rotary should be fined. How many of you would agree?
Agree.
Get out.
I think you have to self-fine since you are his employer and you didn't have the money.
And I'm an ex-track coach. Good point.
We're gonna pay for these guys.
Money down like there.
You accept David Buster's play card? David Buster's play cards?
I don't even know what that is.
You have to bring to a David Buster?
No.
All right, we'll go next weekend. That was awesome.
$50 yet? But I'm reminding you, undo tanning. You look very tan. And you go some. There you go.
Actually.
All right, I'll find Amy.
Oh.
What did you do? What did I do?
She was in the paper.
She made fun of me by texting me earlier this week, so. You know what? I have a picture of publication, so they're gonna go on Sunday and self-report. There's actually about 3 pictures. So I'll put.
Are you just bragging now?
But you made fun of me for it.
So cute. He was this big guy in this little chair with kids. Like,
So you're making fun of my thyroid.
I'll be better.
All right, $10.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done. Oh, except for you.
Yeah.
In Arizona? I mean, I can deal with bronze, husky stuff, but in Arizona, Wildcat sweatshirts, because you win. Okay, I'll let you out.
Hey, but I went to ASU too, so no way.
Right, happy bucks? Gary, do you have a happy buck? I mean.
I
other than
do.
being the Wizard of Oz and being in charge of everything.
I am the great Oz.
I do. It was 70+ degrees yesterday, but it's snowing right now in the Denver area.
That's Denver.
Yep,
Yeah.
$5 coming your way.
All right. Happy bucks?
Happy bucks. $1 fine because I was late.
Okay.
All that stuff. Happy bucks. Happy that the track meet finally ended last night. Good night.
Hey, you were at the long jump pit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cold. 8:30.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ish.
that's what happens when you have 344 hours.
I know,
Hey, you can do discus.
but I'm happy that they're doing super well. Happy it's Friday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yep.
Happy to be here, and I guess I think I don't have my.
No picture, guys. Okay. I didn't even. I'll come around. I think we're coming around. Happy bucks?
I'm happy to be here and we're going to Pasco today, so it should be a fun week.
What was it?
Yeah, that's today. Happy, there's some sun out there. Just had a great week in Arizona, so. Yep.
Hey, I'm really happy because tax day is coming up. And my tax accountant told me that I'm getting a refund. And so, in honor of this refund, I'm gonna match whatever you put in today.
Awesome.
And as,
You're not?
and as his tax accountant. I'm happy that he got a refund. And, we're expecting a grandbaby any minute now. Waiting, yeah, hopefully within the next day or two.
Very nice.
Next week, I'm leaving for Cancun for 9 days. Very happy.
I did. It's supposed to be a nice day. I'm just waiting for the sun to come out. On to the weather report. We're supposed to have some sun today.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Good to see you, as always.
Happy to be here. Happy my taxes are done.
Happy 10, going on vacation to Europe tomorrow. I'll be gone for 2.5 weeks, so I miss you guys. We're going to Spain, northern Spain and Portugal. Oh, so I'm making the leap of the last region and that other thing. I'm also happy because we have voted in the recommended board, or the nominated board. We have 17 votes in so far, which is beyond quorum. So it was unanimous. And so if anybody hasn't turned their ballot in, they can, but there's probably no chance that it's going to change anything. So we're not. So that's it. And I'm also very happy for, as you mentioned, the publicity. Lake Stevens High School was given for this incredible turnout for their.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, she's great.
Yeah.
Of course, it brings with it all kinds of combinations, but we won't talk about it. Anyway,
Just happy it's Friday.
I'm happy to be here. I like what I see about the club. Last week, I noticed on the video that made me look really old. And they're you're yeah.
the rule of the show is 20 pounds in 20 years.
I'm still young for it.
I'm throwing in a couple extra, because I've been gone on some travel, last couple weeks, but I am, happy that my father and his sister are coming up today, and he's a big baseball guy, so we're going to the UW Arizona State game tonight, and then, the Mariners game tomorrow. If you haven't watched a UW baseball game, you should. Just, even if you don't like baseball, it's just a beautiful stadium. It's a really cool stadium.
Well, I'm happy to be here, and I won't be here next week. My girlfriend is becoming a global exercise instructor globally. Yeah, so we're going to Atlanta, Georgia, and she's being videotaped, and then we'll be me and my other friends will be in the audience. Cool. That's very, yeah. And it's gonna be nice better. Internet.
Chris, did I get you?
No, you didn't. I'm happy it's Friday and we still have a great group of people here, and with that, I'm happy.
Awesome. It's happy to be happy. You have a reason to be happy?
In 4 more days.
Tax season ends. All right.
Okay, I'll count this up real quick there. Get that money in here for.
$3,000 in there, wow.
I've left plenty of time to stay in the city.
Good. Yes, so our speaker today is Mayor Brett Gailey, and he'll come up and give us the state of the city address. So there you go.
All right.
Thanks a lot. Turning the record button off.
No, I should, but no,
Just kidding.
no. Let's do, where's my slides? Right there. I don't know how to do that part. You just went beyond my capabilities. That's what they pay me for.
Hey, I'm gonna get going because if you know me, I can talk forever about the city, and I want to make sure we all get onto our lives this morning. After being, I was in John last couple weeks, I was had a great opportunity to attend the U.S. Army Command General Staff College. In beautiful Fort Leavenworth, Kansas. There's not much there. Had a really cool opportunity while I was there to attend the Rotary Club for Leavenworth, Kansas. Really interesting club. They because of you have the Command General Staff College, you have several retired Army dudes there and several generals that are there. So I was kind of in a starstruck mode while I was at their luncheon. But one of the cool generals I met was retired 2-star, and he was the guy who personally watched Bin Laden's body go into the Indian Ocean. That's cool stuff. But great club over there. They were kind of looking at me funny when I started yelling "fun" and "make it." They don't do that. Next week, I won't be here next Friday. I just want to let everybody know. If you don't know, in Islam, the Muslim community right now is doing Ramadan. And I spoke at their iftar dinner, which starts Ramadan last Friday, and they want me to speak again, surprisingly, at their El Eid iftar, which is the end of Ramadan, and that's gonna be at the mill next Friday, 8 a.m. Surprisingly, we have they meet at the Grange building out by Glenwood. And about 250-300 people every Friday. Between Lake Stevens and Marysville. So let's talk about the city. See what we got here. Which button am I hitting here? How about this one? Okay, perfect. Let's talk about some of the things that we've been doing in the city this last year. Aquafest returned this last year, brought back out of COVID. We all know the Aquafest is kind of morphing and looking a little different in some areas. But we're glad that it's back and going. Costco opened up. You can see myself, the manager Chris is there in the middle, and then John Spencer, just a key part in getting Costco here. We were able to cut the ribbon and then quickly get out of the way because there was hot dogs to be had and chicken or whatever we buy there, too much of. Y'all know Terry? Terry, the guy you always see at the front. He actually came over from the Everett store. He lives there like Stevens. He's a really good guy. Yeah. See what else we have going on. Farmers market continues to be a great success. They did over $456,000 in sales, and that's kind of broken down by farmers or artisans, vendors. And then huge kudos to the Lake Stevens Police Department this year, and to our citizens. We were ranked the 5th safest city in the state of Washington. That's 14 steps up from last year, and that says a lot for our current condition as a state. A little chaotic out there. We have had some great accomplishments. In fact, you guys reminded me of a couple more this morning. We had a Lake Stevens volleyball team that went to 2nd place in the state. We took national or state championship in the football. We took state championship in the track and field. We have national going DECA students. We have state going robotics teams.
National now.
National now. Okay, yeah.
They competed in state.
Like
now.
local.
Yeah.
National. National. I don't know. Both sides, I suppose.
Global. I'm not sure about. Well, okay, we'll figure that out. But you know, when our schools are as awesome as they are, it's really indicative of our citizens, right? Like they just do a great job supporting everything. It makes that community that we all want to live in. We created the Parks and Rec department this year. I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. Food bank is up and painted. Are you guys seeing inside there, Anthony? Is that what you're doing right now?
And we all know, every single one of us has been in on that venture for the last decade plus, trying to get the food bank going. So, man, that's such a great thing to get checked off the list and on to the next project. So thank you for everyone for working on that. We finished Mill Spur. We opened that up a couple weeks ago. We're actually going to do a ribbon cutting on one of the farmers markets for Mill Spur. That's the street that we built downtown next to the mill. We celebrated our East Indian citizens with the Diwali festival in November. The SR9 roundabout. I think most of you understand what's going to happen there, but within this summer, by the end of the year, you're going to have 2 big roundabouts put in up there on SR9 that will connect the little tiny roundabouts that have been built up there. It will completely change how Frontier Village works. And I'm okay with that. It'll slow traffic down and make things safer. And provide more opportunities to access our businesses in that area as well. Harvest Market, we talked about that, or no, the Harvest Market is in the fall. That was also successful. We started the Movies in the Park back up and the Shakespeare in the Park back up. All right, let's talk about the city a little bit. This is what we do. I have police that work for me. I got planning, economic development folks, Parks and Rec, Public Works. We're over 40,000 people. Isn't that crazy? 2008, we were 8,000 people. Right? So think about that growth. Think about, I know we've all seen it like within the city, the amount of people, infrastructure trying to catch up. And from my standpoint, I'll talk about it some more, it's how does city government catch up to that growth and provide the services that you all expect out of your government, right? So that's a big focus for me. Just a little bit about how we are funded. Fourth quarter of 21 was the first year that sales tax surpassed property tax revenue for the city, which is kind of where you want to be. We don't want to rely on just property tax. We want to make sure we have a good sales tax base also to supplement that. We also, not only property tax, sales tax, but we also collect some revenue off of the utilities that are done within the city. If you didn't notice, your sales tax went up on April 1st from 9.1 to 9.3. And that was because the voters voted in the transportation benefit district 0.2% that we'll talk about a little bit more here in a minute. This is what your tax breakdown looks like on your property taxes. So when all that money that you cut a check for and you think it goes straight to the city of Lake Stevens, it does not. Ken gets a little bit of it. The state gets a little bit of it. Kevin O'Brien gets a little bit of it. Dave Summers gets some, and Lois at the Snow Isle Library gets a little bit of it as well. So. One thing you should know right now in this legislative session, a bill was dropped 10 days ago that would increase. Right now, you can only increase property taxes by 1% a year. There's a bill right now that will probably pass. It'll go to 3%. So ring up your legislators on that one. That's huge because you know that will get earmarked for silly stuff. We'll just call it silly stuff. Transportation benefit district. So voters in November, we took a package of mostly sidewalk projects, a couple of road projects. We took that to the voters in November and it passed. And I appreciate that. We all know that one of the biggest problems we have, or a big infrastructure problem we have in the city, is lack of sidewalks, especially lack of sidewalks around our schools. So what's happening with that money? That sales tax began being collected April 1st. We start receiving the first portion of that, I think, in July. And then what we're doing is we'll have a project manager who is just transportation TBD focused. They're doing design and engineering work right now. So the next year we can just start knocking out a lot of the sidewalks, and we're just, if you go on our website, you can see what those projects are. And they're already weighted and valued and listed on what's priority. So we're just gonna start going number one and right down the list. Some might get ahead of the others depending upon if we find another source of revenue for it, like a federal grant or something like that. That might boost another one up, but for the majority's sake, they're mostly sidewalks that are around the schools, and 91st is the big one. Like, we want to knock 91st out next year and get those little white delineators off the road, move them somewhere else that we need them, and then make sure we have those sidewalks. TBD. So give you a little bit of context. So the TBD will raise roughly $1.5 million a year. Any guesses on what it costs us to build a linear foot of sidewalk? $1,000. That's a little steep. $400. Yeah, $400 a linear foot. Isn't that crazy? All right, let's talk about some of our accomplishments. Police department, they've been doing a great job with short on bodies. We're not short. We have 7 folks that are on some sort of either long-term leave or disability, and then we have 7 folks who are we're short that we can hire right now, and that's out of 36 slots. So right now you have 5 patrol officers per shift who should be working, and that minimum is 3, right? So they're usually running at 3 officers a shift, which is not a lot of police officers. Being a retired police officers, 3 is like, whew, we'd like to get that more up, but it's just hiring. That's the problem. We're hiring as many as we can, but it's just tough. Drone program. Our drone program is mostly has been mostly funded by donations. And if you've been noticing on our page, we like to post whenever we catch a bad guy with the drone or do something cool with the drone. And so it's a great program. We have Margaret, who is our community service officer. She will go out there and do education to help reduce crime and kind of work with our HOAs to work on their crime in those areas. We kicked back up the Explorer program. And then the body cameras, we started using body cameras this last year. But the contract that we had with Motorola, they are not fulfilling their side of the contract, and we ended that this week. Apparently that's need to ask a lot of questions. Social media posting. So we're gonna find another vendor to do those body cameras. Public Works. Public Works is the story I like to tell. It isn't the sexy side of city government, right? A lot of people don't think about Public Works that much, but they're really a huge part of our city, and a reason why, you get a lot of grumpy citizens because their stormwater drain doesn't drain, or we don't have sidewalks, or the road's a little bumpy, right? So I like to tell this story about Public Works. One of the things I do, in fact, I'll do it this morning, is on Friday mornings after this meeting, I jump in a truck with my Public Works director, my city administrator, and then I randomly just pick another staff member. It could be someone up front desk, it could be someone from Public Works, and we jump in the truck and we drive around the city and we look at projects. And if I get a complaint, we go look at that complaint, and we just kind of see what's going on in the city and create a game plan for the next week. one day I was out driving around and we pulled up to a park and I said, hey, so our parks guys show up here and they mow and they fertilizer and they do stuff, right? How do we document that? And the answer, although honest, was a terrible answer in that it's in Kyle's head. And I was like, and so then being a retired police officer, I didn't know what the right answer was. And then I said, well, what's the right answer? They said, well, we have this program and nobody uses it. And it should be GIS space and asset management and asset maintenance. They start throwing all these words at me, see what they're talking about. So I had to be smart on it. And I went off to what's called the APWA, American Public Works Association conference. And I just sat on the exhibit floor and just got smart, just talking with the civil people. So what that turned into is I realized that we really had that 8,000 to 40,000, we hadn't grown. City policies, procedures, training, like it wasn't there. So I had to get there. And for me, I have to have a checklist, get somewhere. And that checklist is the Public Works accreditation process through APWA. It's about 450 different tasks. Do you do this? Do you train this? Show me that you actually do it. Check, right? So it's a checklist on how to get your public works right. And then it also swings over into your other departments because they're supportive of public works. So we started this process last year. I was thinking it was going to take a year. And that's okay because it's doing it right. So this is really my biggest focus is mayor doing this checklist because it really gets the city right, gets our efficiencies in order, and gets us more responsible with taxpayer dollars, which is what we should be doing. APWA accreditation. We've worked on some security stuff within our facilities. We're upgrading our American Disabilities Act with some of the ramps. We did several of the ramps around the high school this year. We're gonna knock out a bunch down Grade Road this year. And then we updated our ADA plan as well, just to give us a better base idea of where we're at with ADA in the city. Yeah. Community development, my community development team, they're the ones that figure out zoning laws, and we're currently doing a housing action plan. Housing in Lake Stevens is a very interesting topic because the city only has about 300 parcels left to put a house on, and then we're done. We don't have any land left, right? So then what has to happen is going up, and you're going to start seeing 5-6 story buildings going up in Lake Stevens. Mind blow, right? But that's just where we're at. The land that is left needs to, fortunately, needs to start densifying and going up. So you're gonna start seeing that. And then we're also working on a climate action plan, getting ahead of the state. This legislature is going to mandate that every city has a climate action plan, so we're kind of getting ahead of that. A big focus for me right now is the industrial center. Don't know, we have an industrial center. It's tired, it's over that way. It's the Hartford Industrial Center, and then we also go on the other side of Machias, the Machias Industrial Center where the Suburban Propane is and Raven Metals is. And we're doing a study right now to say what could this look like and what do we need to do to get it to look like this. Several of the owners down there want to expand what they can do. They want to bring in kind of mow down what they have and bring in several 100,000 square feet of light manufacturing, but we don't. One of the things we know we don't have is the infrastructure. Sewer mostly. We don't have sewer down there, and broadband. So we can get them that. You'll see a lot more jobs created in that industrial area, which obviously helps us out from the city standpoint. So that's what's going on with community development. Parks and Rec, we kicked up a Parks and Recreation department. If you have not met Park Director Sarah Garceau. Please go meet her, she's great. Anytime in an organization, people come and go in an organization, hopefully at the right time, and she's the right person at the right time for that spot. She's she hampers my dreams sometimes, but I understand that I need to be brought back to reality every once in a while. She does that. But she is great. She's very methodical. One of the first things she did was actually go out and inventory. The city didn't know what we actually owned. Like, what was a city park? Like, what was city property? And so he went out and inventoried all of that and found little tiny parks that apparently are city parks and we didn't know. And but now we know all that. And then she turned around and inventoried them all for safety and found several of them that were had some pretty egregious issues. And now she has a plan on how to work through all that with the parks. We are gonna create a new park this summer under the power lines. It's been about a 4-year dream for me. From 20th Street Southeast to 8th Street Southeast, we'll do a power line trail under there, a little dog park, and that'll be kind of a start there. With the goal to eventually go from 20th all the way up to Frontier Heights Park with the trail. And then that would eventually tie into Marysville's trail that they're bringing down under the power lines as well. Parks. Cool. Our human resources folks, this year we hired a risk manager to keep an eye on our risk. And he's also been working our APWA accreditation side. Human resources is interesting. I think last week, the week before, I signed, the thanks for being here for a year certificates for all employees. I think it was like 18. Right, so that out of 110 employees, that's a lot of people. And to have a system within HR that efficiently announces, efficiently brings in applications, reviews those, gets into the hiring process, and then actually hiring and onboarding. That's a lot of work, right? And so I've got 3 folks in HR that do that. They can do great work. Finance, we passed our annual financial audit, which is great. Jail is not my thing. If you want to look at our budget and what our budget looks like, you go on our website, right in the middle of it, there's a page called Transparency Center. And it's threat proof. There's graphs and colors and stuff, and it's not all just numbers. You can kind of see what's going on with the budget. And then under finance, we also do a lot of support for the Lake Stevens Senior Center and the food bank, and also Volunteers for America. If you don't know Tina Mandela, who does our outreach for the Volunteers for America, she's great. She's over there in the Lutheran Church 20th and 9, and she does incredible work with the little bit of the money that we give her. City administration. So I have 2 city clerks who will probably spend the majority of their time on public information requests, right? And so they did over 900 of them last year. And that could go from, I need my traffic accident report, to I want every email that says Ken and Collins.
I get those a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, the school district gets those a lot.
Right, and so you've got to fulfill those, right? And you can ask them to, do you want Ken Collins handing out fines? Like, you can try to get them to refine it, but if they don't want to, they don't have to. And so every Ken in your department shows up and every Collins shows up, and it creates literally 17, 18, 19,000 emails. Crazy. But our clerks have to do that. That's what they do. if you go on our website's run by Civic Plus. Civic Plus has several different modules to it. One of them is Civic Clerk. Civic Clerk makes it so that all of our agendas are online, very easily accessible, very easily to search them, and very easy to archive them. We went from virtual meetings to hybrid meetings this last year for city council, which is good. I think they're working well. It's not too many hiccups with them. IT, my little IT guys, we just hired 2 new IT people to fill out our IT department. There's 4 folks in IT. They're working on a lot of things. One of the things they were able to get through with Civic Rec is being able to go online and any of our facilities to be able to rent them and do that all online. So you don't have to go in and get out of your pajamas. You can actually do that online. The other thing we're working on is a lot of technology solutions. I like to try to keep government small. And so I look towards technology on what are some of the things that we could be doing that we could use technology instead. One of the things we're working on is making sure the lake's clean. And we do that right now by every quarter, someone goes out there in a little rowboat and they drop a couple cups of things, pull the water up and they test it. Like, well, why do we do that? Like, that's archaic. Why don't we have like a sensor that does all that and is constant, right? So then when you say something easy like that, then your IT guy goes, well, how does it, what's the backbone of it? What's the, and I don't know what they're talking about. I know what that happens in your body. Right? So we're working through that, but I'd like to get to a point where we not only do that, but we do sensors at each of the inflows into the lake, so we know what's coming into the lake, and we can track issues that might be upstream, that sort of thing. Keep the lake clean, and we need to do that. And it also can reduce the amount of cost of the lake. Right now, we spend about $125,000 a year on algae treatment for the lake. So if we can better focus on what's coming in that creates the milfoil issue, maybe we can reduce that cost down. Another technology thing that I was trying to get out this year for snow plowing is I wanted Lauren to be able to wake up in the morning after it snowed and say, did they plow my street yet? And be able to look on a dashboard and see and say, oh, they haven't yet, but I see the little snow plow and he's headed my way. He's waving at me. He's waving. Okay, I can sleep for 5 more minutes, right? So I wanted to get to this year. We have it all set up, but we have to negotiate with the unions for the GPS in their little snow plow. Yeah, so we're it would be easy for. So we're working on that, working on little things like that with street sweeping, just some technology, kind of fun things to do. And if you have a 4-legged friend, you can go online and do your pet licensing online now and not have to come into the city. Priorities, our budget priorities, we switched over to a leasing program on our light duty equipment, which saved the city $100,000 per year on vehicles. That switches them out. They puts them on a 4-year cycle, which is kind of cool. We talked about the SR 9204 project. We're going to work this summer on a couple of parks. Sunset Park that we took over from the county a couple of years ago is going to get a facelift. There's kind of 2-3 phases to that. The first phase this year is to do work on the actual park area, better parking lot, better accessibility. And then phase 2 will be doing the dock maybe next year. Phase 3 is the pipe dream, which is putting some sidewalks on the opposite side of the lake, along with some parking along there, right? Right now, people park down the street and they frogger their way back up to Sunset Beach. So that'll be a little bit down the road. we're gonna do some turf up at Frontier Heights Park. And then the 20th Street Power Line Trail that I talked about, the South Lake Stevens multi-use path, that's that path that we built a couple of years ago from the bridge at the south end of the lake, all the way up to Tom Thumb. Right, and then if you cross over 20th, that trail continues just past the new subdivision on the right, Main City one. We want to continue, we have design plans, we're all ready to go from there all the way up to Costco. So Kent could jump on his little skateboard at the bridge. Yeah. Go up to Tom Thumb, go across the road, get to Costco and get your hot dog, and then continue down 20th, all on sidewalks and trails to get to the state road. And we have $3.5 million to do that project as a state grant, and Jay Inslee moved it out to 2027 for some strange reason. So we're trying to get that brought back into, I'd love to do it next year, but we'll see where that goes. Cedarwood Community Center, I know we've talked about that in this group. We've asked for $1.2 million to remodel that project. We've also have a 2.4, I think, with Representative Del Benny for a federal ask on that. We figured that project's a total of $5 million. We'll see what we get from the Olympia this year, and then we'll see if Representative Del Benny can get us the rest of that on the federal. That 2.4 on the federal, and then we'll see if the council will make the difference up. We're talking currently to the YMCA to be our partner. So doing some YMCA programming in that old community center that's boarded up. So 91st. So one of the things we've really done a really good job of visualizing what downtown could look like, and downtown's really going to start changing a lot this fall. There's going to be a development going in here on the corner. We have money to do a roundabout at 20th and Main Street. There might be some changes with the fire station, right? So this whole area just down the hill is really going to change, I think, for the best. So we're not playing Frogger around the corners. They're trying to walk to get to Aquafest. But it's really a testament of what can government do to try to influence change in an area. And that, for us, I think that was creating the mill, redoing North Cove Park, right? And that's really created the environment to change around it, right? So I want to take that synergy and focus now on 91st, say from the Ram to Wendy's. Right, great businesses up there, little tired areas in there. What can we do as a government to influence those owners to do something different? And I think that what that means is doing maybe a pedestrian friendly, changing 91st to be more pedestrian friendly, all the way down to Wendy's, and just trying to create a different environment so that those property owners will look to do something different in there. So that'll be my next focus, is up on 91st Avenue. Talked about the industrial center. We talked about, yeah. That's all I got for you. That's what's going on in the city. Questions?
Where are you planning on starting to go up?
Yeah, so well, one is this development that's gonna happen here. That's gonna be, I think it's currently slated for 4 stories, maybe 5 stories. 190 apartments with about 16,000 square feet of retail commercial. Right there. Yeah, where Michelle Scott is right now. So that piece of property goes from the White House on 123rd all the way around to Lake St. George.
What's the thought about the utilities and sewer capacity?
So our wastewater, so the Lake St. Sewer District has capacity. It's a great question. It has capacity. They only run, I think they run at less than 50%. So capacity is not an issue. In fact, I've been trying to figure out how do I get Granite Falls crap all the way to Grant Falls, they don't have capacity. And I'd love to get their crap over to our crap
Mix it together.
and mix our crap. But that's a very expensive pipeline and conversation. Anyways, but the infrastructure is there, but think about, one thing to think about, you just dropped 190 apartments and 16,000 square feet of retail, and it's the energy, right? Because now that crap has to get from here all the way around the lake, up 2 hills.
Pump stations. and all.
Pump station, right, it's about energy, right? If you don't know how the sewer district works, you've got a couple of pump stations around the lake and they have big crap balls, right? And they wait till nighttime when power's cheap and then they shoot it for the next one. For the next one. Take on this.
Not a question, but just a comment. I just really appreciate working with the city and particularly Brett and his team. We have, mutual interests all the time that we work on and, for instance, after the passage of the TBD, just sitting down with Kim and Aaron and going through what the walk paths are for our students leaving the school so that they can establish sidewalks that are more safe for our kids is really important. And I just really appreciate the work. I mean, making sure that we can get to school on time when there's snow and knowing that we're working together on plowing roads because we have equipment, they have equipment, we have a sharing agreement on equipment, which we utilize a lot. And so I just really appreciate the work. One of the biggest things is as Brett said, there's very few parcels left in Lake Stevens to build. And of course, we're going to need to build more schools. So being hemmed in by the Urban Growth Act and having very small amount of property, dirt with which to build on, we brainstorm all the time about what our next move is going to look like in terms of managing our student growth, which is really critical. Working with the board on that for the next couple of months, we're having some special sessions to talk about, okay, so our bonds for Stevens Creek and the Early Learning Center fall off in 2025. What's our next move with regard to staying ahead of the growth curve for our students?
Yeah, it's a tough discussion and I appreciate our relationship as well. We have really great people that work for us and Ken and I just kind of get out of the way, but we really do have some great bankers and I know one of those projects we're working on, if you go to the different schools, the school zone equipment is not the same. Right, so that's one of the things we're trying to do is standardize high visibility school zone, and so it's all the same at every school.
I think
There used to be a youth advisory council.
Still-
Still there?
Yeah, they still meet. Councilmember Daughtry and one of the other council members, they kind of run that.
Dickinson?
I don't know. I can't remember who else is on it, but Councilman, it might have been Sean. Maybe someone else filled in on that. I'll have to find out. But they were still very active. They were very good.
I think you're doing a great job with the vision of the city and you're taking it to the next level of a real city. And when I'm out and about, I hear nothing good about Lake Stevens.
Nothing good.
I mean.
Nothing good.
He's like, yeah. Thought I'd catch on that, but yeah. No, I mean, I hear just, everybody's like wanting to move here and it's a great place and the school district's phenomenal and the whole thing, retail's up and. So you're doing a great job.
I appreciate it, Chris. It's just a blessing to surround myself with really smart, talented people and I love to throw them a dream and just walk away and see what happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's cool.
Any other questions? Well, thank you for your time and more than that, thank you for being in the community. Every single one of you does something great in the community and supports the community either with your time or your service or your money and your presence and your knowledge. And that's what makes a job like mine super easy. It's just great participation for the community. So great.
Thanks. Report. Yeah, and we have a $25 donation for the Lake Stevens Foundation.
Oh, perfect.
Vacation Foundation.
Oh,
thanks a
excellent.
lot, Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Not a very personable person. If you want to talk to him in person, you can go to Starbucks.
yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
see
my,
that.
it's my office west.
Which one?
I know, now I have to go northwest.
Yeah. Any other comments for the good of the whole?
Sam's birthday today too, so I forgot.
Who?
Sam Love.
Sam Lowe? I didn't see that. Sam birthday today? Not how.
According to Facebook.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you for being here.
So.
What was it?
What did you do with the, Frankie, you were in the long jump, triple jump?
Yeah, yeah, my son, and so, I don't know, they needed somebody to help out, so, you know. Here I was.
So you're full time or what were you doing?
I was the stick person,
Oh, you were the stick person. Now,
yeah,
awesome. Well, thanks for helping out.
of course, always, always.
Thank you.
Yeah. Strong arm?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a hit by a car at 25 miles an hour. There's a chance of surviving. 75. 30.
I think we forgot to,
Turn it off.
no, we didn't put the, I think that thumb drive needs to be put in.
Oh, to make that
To
work.
make that work.
Yeah.
Thumb drive, something.
Be nice.
That way.
Oh, wow.
Stop the recording.
I actually love the speaker.
Sharing.
It's slow. It's slow. I understand it. I'm okay with it.
Stop recording. Are you sure you want to stop?